Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over the February 2022 real estate market update for the Twin Cities. So if you're thinking about buying or selling this year in or around to or from the Twin Cities, you're definitely going to want to grab a cup of coffee and settle in. And I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on in the market, what you need to know. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you how it applies to you and my predictions for 2022. All right, let's get right into things. So I'm gonna walk you through a number of different slides here and basically break down for you what's going on in the market and what you need to know right now. So first of all, why don't we start with home sale prices in the Twin Cities? So you can see right here, we're gonna mainly just be focusing on December to January changes this month. So I'm recording this in February, reporting our numbers through January 2022. So currently our median sales price in the Twin Cities is about $340,000. I did break these down for you just so you could see kind of what that looks like. From December to January, there's usually very little change. We did sit almost flat. I think it went up $100 from December to January. So that's about normal from what we'd like to see. That's actually kind of a good sign that we didn't go up more than that. Here's kind of an interesting breakdown if you want to see from what happens through the different years there. So obviously, let's go back to 2017 there. We went up by almost 7%, 18, 7.3. We're thinking, good Lord, we've got to see a change in the market. 19 happened and we were kind of encouraged. It was only 5.6% increase in sales price. This is from January to January. So we were hoping that was going to be a shift in the market back then. And then 2020 happened, 9.2%. Then this past year, up 11.1% January to January. So definitely going the wrong direction. We'd like to see that number actually around 4 to 5% is more ideal. That's kind of the bigger inflation type of number that they want to see targeted. So we're 3 times that in the Twin Cities, which is definitely not what we want to see. But that's where we're at for right now. Median sales price, $340,000 in the Twin Cities. Looking at month supply of inventory. So this is the relationship again between a buyer's market or a seller's market. This is the data that tells us what we're in. We should see these numbers more towards the 4 to 6 months of inventory. That would be a balanced market. And then I've got this, you can see as a monthly rolling number here. So we are always a little bit more seller favored in the winter just because of buyers pulling out more quickly than sellers. A year ago, we were at 1 month supply of inventory. You can see now year over year, we're down 20% and we're at 8.8 month supply of inventory. So that's a new record. If I pulled this back to our max number, that's by far the lowest that we've ever been as far as month supply. So, if you're hearing kind of these maybe dramatizations is a strong word, but accurate in the news and things. Yes, we're in a very tough market. It's very competitive. Certainly a lot more buyers that are looking to buy than sellers, and so competing in multiple offers and things like that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad time to buy. It's just important to know what kind of a market you're in so that you can be ready to compete in the appropriate market. Because of that, days on market here, you can see when we were in the summer, so generally fewer days on market during the summer months, obviously, homes selling a little bit quicker. We saw this popping up and we're thinking, ooh, maybe this is going to help us. Maybe this is the next wave, We were 44 days on market for January's the previous 2 years, 20 and 21, 19 and 20. 45 the year before. So then last year happened, we were half that and we were thinking, good Lord, we've got to see this come up. It was really, really competitive. Currently we're actually 1 fewer days on market. So definitely not the direction we wanted to go. We were hoping as this popped up out of the summer, we were going to see that happen more. We want more days on market than we've got currently to get us back to a normal summer market. We're not seeing that. So we're obviously seeing that things are very, very competitive still and selling very quickly. We would love to have seen a higher jump on that one. We haven't. And don't forget too, kind of these peaks here are those winter months. So from here on out, we're expecting this to start going back down. And so it'll be anybody's guess how quickly that goes down. But as I'm going to talk about, especially at the end, I really want you to stick around because we're going to talk about what's happening this year. And this is not necessarily a good sign for what we're seeing there. Next up, number of homes on the market. Oh, excuse me, there you go. Number of homes on the market. So this is not the number of new listings, which is what I'm going to show you next. This is the actual number of homes that are currently sitting on the market. And this would be as of January. So last year, 5,500, this January, 4,500. Obviously a really significant drop. And the number of homes on market, as you can see here, last year was kind of goofy with COVID and the pandemic happening, which stunted the top end there. But obviously that's a major new record for the fewest number of homes that are currently sitting on the market for January. We're not necessarily surprised with the summer that we had seen, because again, our December, January, winter numbers are much more reflective of what happened over the summer. We saw so many of those sell off during the summer that there were very few left on the market as we went into the winter months. Then things closed. We don't see a lot of new homes getting listed, of course, over the holidays. So that's what you're seeing there. So let me show you the new listings. This is the number of new homes getting put on the market. So here's what we're seeing. Last year, 4,000 homes. In January, year over year, we're down 11%, 3,600. So not necessarily a surprise with how many we had seen, but again, if we're hoping that the market's going to shift, this is one of the first things that we would see as an indicator. Everyone's kind of hoping the market crashes. That's not going to happen, but all these talking heads are trying to make rumors about it. If that was true, and if that was going to be happening this year, we would have to see this number going up, right? If we've got such a swing towards the seller's market, it means there's very few listing and there's a ton of buyers. We would need either of those things or both to happen to really see a shift in the market. This being one of those first indicators, not as many homes getting put on the market. We would want to see a bunch of new homes getting put on the market. That's not happening. We're still down 11% year over year. What I was hoping that we would see, we expected there not to be a lot of homes on the market coming out of last year. If we would see that shift, then we would see that spiking up. Small little positive in all of this is that while the December is our bottom point there. With those Decembers being so low, obviously we did have a really low December. This did pop up considerably from there. So if our previous January was right in here, let me make that a little bit easier for you. So if this was kind of our previous January, this is our current January, you can see we did close that gap a little bit. So I do like to see that. It's obviously not much. I mean, we needed to see a lot more homes coming on the market than what we did. But nonetheless, we got what we got. So that's the number of new listings that got put on the market. Here's one more thing that was not at all what we wanted to see, and that's the number of showings to pending. Now, I think you can kind of interpret this a lot of different ways. I'm not going to go into it too in depth for you right now. But so you can see, if we go back, I scaled this back to 2012, so basically a 10-year stretch. We never really went above 18 showings per listing till the property went pending. That's what you're looking at right here, the number of showings on a listing before it goes pending. And it's fairly consistent, right? It didn't really change a lot as far as the peaks or the valleys there. And then all of a sudden last year happened, and we thought, what in the hell is going on? Tons of showings before the property would go pending because there were so few listings, that ratio again, so few listings and a ton of buyers. So that means all of these buyers had to consolidate onto a certain number of listings. And so those listings had a higher number of showings each, right? That's what you're looking at right here. That peak from last year is March, okay, coming in right here. And so it was on fire, and tons of showings. If we back up to January of last year, it was 21. So that'd be somewhere in here. 21 showings till the property went pending on average. Median, excuse me. January we saw 20 now of this year, so it got more difficult, right, than last year. There was one less, it got slightly easier, slightly fewer, slightly less competition potentially on that listing, so that's good, right? We want to see that. That's a good sign. If you heard me last month referring to this, or maybe it was 2 months ago, we were previously down here. And so we were hoping, okay, maybe we won't see this number, and maybe we will get back to doing something more like this, right? Or something similar to what it was, and we'll just see this kind of a normal seasonality. We were really hoping we were going to see that getting back to it. That's not the case at all. If you look at these little plateaus right here, this is generally between January and April kind of a time frame. So we were hoping that would be the peak and we would stop there. I have no idea what to predict for the next couple of months. So if this was our previous January, right, whereas these ones plateaued out, this spiked again and like April comes into here, and so there was a huge spike in between there, which we had not seen before. We definitely don't want to see that again. But if we rewind to all the previous slides that I showed you, our month supply of inventory has only gotten stronger towards more of a seller's market. We've got fewer homes on the market, fewer listings that we've seen. Everything's trending to suggest we're actually going to see something similar to last year. I don't know. This was so out of the ordinary for having that big spike in the number of showings per listing. I mean, I am really hoping we don't see that again. Yes, January was down 1. That's not a pretty significant number though, to be at 20 versus 21. So I don't think we can call that and say, all right, then we're going to see a bigger year but less. But I also would say that's probably the best case scenario. Seeing all the other numbers that are trending, that they would be suggesting we're doing more significant of a spike that we're expecting in the next couple of months, that would suggest we would have that spike. I'm hoping we don't. I mean, that would be really, really tough on the market to have that kind of activity going on. But you really never know. So, then what is all that going to mean for you for this coming year in 2022? First of all, if you haven't followed me, go follow me on socials. If I say the name of the algorithm, it'll kill my video. But the social platform that's got 2 T's in the name, we just did a video you can go check out there. Where basically I ran this scenario for you. All right, if we buy a house today, median sale price in the Twin Cities with our current sale prices and our current interest rate, the payment's going to be X. And then I basically future casted that if you decided to hold off, basically hoping that the market softens, that some of these numbers that we're seeing change, then what would your payment be? And Zillow's estimate was basically 16% increase in median sales price over the next 12 months through 22. Previously, we had heard an average of about 7% increase. So I think in that video, I planned on something like 10 or 15% increase in sales price being a pretty realistic number. You do the math on a $300,000 home, that's $45,000 increase, which is not great. So basically, if the same home you bought today in a year from now is I think I did $50,000 for a round number, more expensive. And if we go up in interest rates only by 1%, we are seeing again, I'm not going to go into interest rates in great detail, but we're seeing a whole lot more inflation than we should, the highest numbers we've had since 1982. And because of that, the Fed is almost certainly going to be stepping in and really significantly increasing their rates, which will affect mortgage rates, and it's going to force mortgage interest rates to be going up. If we go up 1%, is what I recapped in that video. You can go see the numbers in detail, but basically for that same exact home that you could buy today for $300,000, you'd buy later for $350,000 plus 1% interest rate higher. The payment would go up almost $500, procrastinating 1 year. So I'm not saying that anyone needs to just hurry up and jump at the market because it's going to be more expensive, but my job is to just inform you of what's most likely going to be the case 12 months from now, is that for the same home, it's almost $500 more per month. So what you do with that information is up to you. My wife and I actually would love to upgrade, but our family situation just isn't ready for an upgrade in home. And so we're going to hang tight, even if it means more expensive payment later. That's going to be the right move for some people. The others, it's not. Some are just sitting on the fence, and their Uncle Charlie that knows nothing has said that, oh, the market's got to crash. Like, it's too crazy. It's got to come down. I'm not seeing any indicators to suggest that's actually going to happen here locally. Maybe nationally, maybe in other states. I got no idea. But locally, I'm not seeing any indicators to suggest that we have started shifting in any significant, tangible way. So I just would say, you do what you want, but that's what's currently happening in the Twin Cities real estate market right now. I will be putting out a new market update every month. I also do some weekly market updates on all of our social platforms. So make sure you subscribed, and we'll give you another playlist that you can check out more information right here. Thanks so much. I'll see you next month.